What is up YouTube? It is Matty and this is going to be a war recap we're going to show, and you should have already seen the Channel 9 raids from this war. So I've decided, as I said in the previous video, and if you haven't seen it I suggest you go see it if you want to get the full experience of the whole war, but I've split content in wars from down to Channel 9 raids down to Channel 10 and 11. So 10 and 11 will sit in the same recap, and Channel 9 will have a recap all of its own, just to keep it segregated, just to keep it straightforward and easy for you guys as viewers to know what you're going to get from those recaps. The problem is there's usually too many nice Channel 9 raids to choose from. Obviously Channel 10 and 11 content people are going to want to see naturally anyway, so if I try and put a lot of Channel 10 and 11 it's going to minimise what 9. I just thought split it down, you guys can make the choice as to what you want to watch, and leave it at that. So yeah, obviously Channel 11, a massive game changer in the war scene. What we're finding now as well is that Channel 10s are getting 3-starred more often. I'm not saying Channel 10 versus Channel 10, I'm saying Channel 11 dips and going down. Channel 11's bullying Channel 10s is now a real thing in war, so you're going to naturally see more Channel 10 3-stars either way. Balancing and war weight matchups, having a mixed experience. I've heard horror stories of massive outweighing Channel 11s versus the quantity of Channel Channel 11 mismatching, so like 7 versus 1 for example. I think it's in the Emphatic Fury war at the moment, which is crazy. But anyway, that's all to be for a different time, for a different video. Right now let's have a little look at some cool raids I can show. So we're going to start with a couple of Channel 10 versus Channel 10 3-stars done by two solid raids. Very nice work, relatively straightforward as well, but let's have a look at how it works out. So this base has got level 1 infernos, 1 on single, 1 on multi, so that makes it a bit easier, and it's got Channel 9 Channel 9 defenses as well. So starting with the Queen Walk. Now she on this sort of base, you'll see what he does. He wants her to break in and sort of go towards the middle of this long wall segment she's about to go onto. So what he does is break in a golem and witches at 9 o'clock. So you can see the golem giant down there, wizard to funnel, second, third wizard, and he drops in a test wall breaker, then a few more wall breakers, and watch what happens here. This is going to be the entry point for the witches. You can see the queen's already breaking in. I don't know if he wanted the queen to go and join them, or if he knew that she was going to break in. It didn't matter too much either way, because she was going to go inside in both scenarios. And you can see there goes all the witches in. And what he needs to do now is guide them into the town hall, into the core compartment. You can see there's a jump spell, 2 jump spells with a direct lead in. Potentially, it was a little bit early on the freeze spell there. I don't know if he had the queen in mind. It didn't matter too much, and raging straight through the core now, and look how quick that core gets demolished. What's going to happen is the queen's going to be pushed right. A lot of the witches have been pushed queen pushed north, a lot of the witches pushed south. Perfect split, king in the core, some witches and wizards in the core as well. And what's happening now is you've got the perfect scenario. Troops moving simultaneously around the outside of the base, taking defense after defense after defense down en route. Still got the queen ability in hand as well, and the only thing that's going to cause a little bit of a hindrance is that Tesla that's sat on the outside of the wall, because it actually ends up killing the king, and then it starts targeting all the witches. You'll see here it's just like the most MVP troop most MVP defense. It gets more witches. Well, look at this now. It's another 1, 2. I think it gets more witches than that as well. It's crazy. Maybe not. Is it? No, not so much now. The raid's done anyway. Absolute crazy raid. Beautiful attack. And let's look at his next one. Again, not massively complicated raids, but these bases are not anti-3-star. They are anti-2-star design, so they do make it somewhat easier for these sorts of raids. Now, as you saw in the Channel 9 content video, a lot of queen walks, and the reality is that queen walks are the way forward for 3-starring raids, because you get such good value. Now watch, he does a really nice thing with this queen walk, and I thought, it just had me for a second. I thought, really good idea. I don't know why the queen didn't break in there. She normally just goes crazy and loves breaking in anywhere. So watch what he does. He's breaking his entry point for his witches, P.E.K.K.A, king, all that sort of stuff is 6 o'clock. So down by this army camp. But he's going to wait for his queen to go, not only run around, run past it, and actually carry on walking around the edge of the base, and then break them in. And you can see he started with a single wall breaker there to test, make it nice and weak. And once the queen's gone sort of past the point of no return, he's gonna then break in the golem, and there she goes. Look, so here we go. Golem's about to go in. P.E.K.K.A, witches, they're all gonna go. Triple golem. And what that's going to do is tank the Inferno beams as well. There is a single target Inferno, so he's got to be careful of that. Witches going in for distraction. Wizards, just a lot of firepower heading that way. Queen did decide to break in randomly, but watch, he pops the ability, gets her health going back on. The healers are now going back towards the Queen because they'd had distracted onto the golem for a minute. With everything going into the core, you did use the freeze to stop the single target Inferno from destroying all his golems, and now we're at a point where everything's moving onto it. But the Queen is walking around the edge of the base, and that again is perfect. She's just going to carry on taking those defenses down. The core is almost already gone. Got a few testers to take down. He needs an exit for the core. About to drop a jump spell down, I think. There it goes, so he can get all those troops out of the core as well, helping take down more defenses. The Queen at this point, she's already on course to finish up any defenses that remain anyway. But if he can keep his witches and wizards alive, it will just mean that they can carry on steamrolling the base. So the golem's moving, doing a perfect job of tanking, and there is the 3-star. So very nice raids by Solid. You could say they were solid raids. Anyway, moving through, we've got D Dollar now. This is a dip. This is some Channel 11 versus Channel 10 bully. I did want to put it up there because it's a reality of war. It happens, and if you're going to be seeing it more and more often, I think. So let's have a look at how he does the attack. Golem 1 down. I think he's trying to break him in, which he's done. Second golem, third golem down as well. Using wall breakers to break in, but those didn't work because they got hit by a giant bomb. I think he was hoping the golem was going to redirect, but the reality was it wouldn't, because there was no defense in that section anyway. So maybe he didn't quite think of that one, or sort of forgot that you can't, golem won't go into a compartment without a defense. Anyway, warden down, king down, queen down, load of witches down as well, and the warden, as you know, it gives a HP buff to all troops inside it, and his special ability is invulnerability. So when he uses it, you're going to see a mad surge rush, I believe. I haven't seen him use it yet. I think it's coming. There you go. Everything's invulnerable in that vicinity for a small amount of time, and it just pushes the troops through because they're all alive, and they can't get hit. It just means that they can just push deeper and harder than ever before. Queen is in, a lot of the defences are going down. There's quite a lot of defences at 12 o'clock though. You've got the quad arch towers, you've got 2 cannons, a third cannon towards 10 o'clock. I'm wondering how he's going to be able to cope with taking all those down, and it looks like the golems are going to end up running up front, using archers to help take down the outside buildings, and that the queen and the warden are going to sit back and start sniping those defences off one by one. Golems are still taking some damage here. The archers are helping clean up those external buildings, which is great. And P.E.K.K.A's still alive as well. Hasn't got much left in terms of tanking. Needs to be careful with that warden, because the warden's not got much HP. So when it dies, obviously all those HP buffs that are in action at the moment will die as well. But the queen is just playing the role perfectly, just sniping all those defences down, and she's going to end up running around, getting those final ones, and the raid will be over. So great job, great attack. Yeah, another Channel 10 bites the dust, just unfortunately by a bully. Moving through to number 5, and we've got another one, which is King Alistair taking down a box base, or you could call it a resource ring base, which I think is the common name for it. And 4 jumps, easy way to do it. 3 different entry points for the golems, huge amount of tank. The reason there's 3 different entry points, 7 golems, sorry, is because the 2 golems and the 2 on the extremities, so 6 and 9. They will sort of funnel the middle ones into the core. So the idea being that the only thing is the queen. Why does he? I don't understand why he places the queen on the north side. Is that because you want her to run around the ring and only let your sort of king golems and wizards go into the core? I don't know, because for this reason the queen won't go into the core, but I assume it's because he wants to follow the golems around the outside of the base and leave the king, the other golems, the wizards, to take down the core itself. The Inferno is staying alive for a dangerous amount of time. He does pop the invulnerability there for the warden for a second. Is the warden going to be able to snipe the Inferno? Because I think it's getting dangerous now. The Inferno being one of the last buildings to go down in the core itself is going to cause him some issues, I believe. Now, maybe it's the golem that goes and finishes it off. Maybe it's the king that gets 1 pop. The king missed it, actually. I think it's going to be the golem that ends up taking it down. Which, wow, if that's the case, that's pretty clutch for the golem. You've got a similar scenario though. Queen and warden running around the outside. There's no tank for them though, so the queen's going to need to tank for herself. The golemites did take down the Inferno, which was kind of clutch. You've only got 1 point defense left after that cannon goes down, which is the arch tower, which is currently distracted by the golemites, so he's getting a bit lucky there. But he has got the ability still in check, so he can pop that when he needs to. Unfortunately got a skelly trap, so the queen's going to have to deal with that first. But I assume he's going to use the queen ability to help take down that. Here we go. It's going to need to be clutch. 1. Can he get the second? Can he get that arch tower down? Just about. Maybe it looks like it's come down right to the wire. Oh! Caught the caught the final giant bomb as well, just to add insult to injury. So final couple of raids we're going to show in this is the attack on number 3, which is Town Hall 11 versus Town Hall 11, which I know you guys are probably interested to see. Some pretty shocking base designs, but let's see what D-Dollar does to try and combat that. Firstly, nice easily EQ spot, damage the Inferno in the process, damage the Town Hall as well, allow the golems to move freely through the base. Using a few different entry points. He's got 7 witches. Oh, wall breakers fail there. Another wall breaker fail at the top, so he's not got too lucky on that front, so he's going to have to do a bit of forced entry. But I suppose he's going to be okay. The Eagle Artillery has been activated, so that's starting to drop some pretty hefty damage on what troop was it on? As long as it's not on the warden, he's okay, because he doesn't want the warden to die, because he's going to need that ability to pop. There it goes, pop the ability. I don't know, was that slightly premature? There might have been a separate motive for doing it. I'd have done it when it dropped a little bit deeper in, maybe. But here it goes, the queen, the king, everything's moving in nicely now. The Eagle Artillery is about to go down, which I think it has now. Now. Queen and warden are sticking together. They seem to be a beautiful pairing, these pair. It needs that single and target Inferno to go down though. So what's going to get it down? Looks like it might end up being the queen, I think. Here she is on it. It's hitting a golem at the moment. I think too much tank has gone. The golemites are fizzling out in the raid. There's too many point defences left, and that's why this raid wasn't quite able to be the 3-star, because it's the defences that are down the bottom side here which are going to be able to just start picking away at the queen, picking away at the warden, picking away at all those other troops that are left. Queen caught another giant bomb, so she's lost a bit of health there. The ability was a good timing to take down those 3-point defences, which worked, but again it's left not much firepower for the final bit of the raid, which is down the bottom side. And because there's an enemy warden there, it's going to be adding a HP buff to those defences. So yeah, it's just, and the Queen's dead now. Look, the Warden will take down that final cannon and the Builder hut, but other than that, not much to do. The Queen, he'll just get slaughtered by the Arch Tower, and there he did. Final one we're going to show, another 2-star by King Alistair at number 1. So he again, Town 11 versus Town 11. And this is going to conclude this video. So heavy on the witches. Now witches, because they're you can get level 3 at Town 11. They got a significant, a very significant boost, particularly when combined with the Warden. So much so that Supercell had to nerf it shortly after the release because it was too powerful. Town 11s were just getting 3-starred left, right, and centre by the Town 11s because they added the skeletons. Could survive. What could they survive? I think it was either a Wizard Tower Blast or a Mortar Blast. They were, yeah, I think it was the Wizard Tower Blast that they could survive, and it just meant that they could just push heavily, quickly through a base and just absolutely obliterate it. I still think there's balance issues at Town 11, but you can see here the Warden is going to use the Warden ability the best time he can. That seemed pretty good. I suppose. Everything's moving through. It's going to blast through the town hall quite soon, which is now gone. But it's just, I suppose you just need to try and get those Inferno Towers down as quickly as you can, and then try and keep as many witches, golems alive for the back part of the raid. And again, I think this is a high percentage, just not quite enough to take down the whole of the base. There's a lot of defences there to deal with, so it's always a tall order. There is the additional expo. There are the additional few defences you get at Town 11. Not a huge amount, but there are some. Queen ability is still there. Uses it to take down another group of defences, but again, similar scenario to last raid. There's just that bottom side that wasn't dealt with. And it's difficult to control raids that are big and open, like the few Town 11s we've seen there, massively open. So you can't really guide. It's difficult to guide the troops. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Showing you some Town 10 and Town 11 content. Town 10 content might be coming from myself when I've got my account more ready to drop some 3-stars maybe. Maybe I might be dipping up and trying to hit some Town 11s. Only time will tell. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.